Hey guys, just want to talk a little bit about the leather work on this one here. I generally use a piece of paper and get my ideas most of the time, but sometimes you can just go for it after doing a few. Just remember, if you're going to do this style, leaving the strap on to make sure you got the right side, flipped over. You do it over here, and that's the inside. It'd end up being a left-handed sheath, which really may not matter, but this one in particular is going to be a left hand or a right hand. So I just go for basic fit, and this one here is going to have a snap to hold it in place, and put a few stitches here, maybe the rivets back here to hold it secure, and just run around the edge here with I think I'll use a white thread this time. I think it'll look real good. And I've never used one of these, believe it or not, and this time I'm going to give it a shot. We'll see how this goes. I'm going to go ahead and pre-drill. It's pretty thick leather. It's probably just be a pain to muscle it through on every hole. So, but if you're going to do quite a few sheaths and whatnot, you may invest in one of these guys here. It puts an edge. You can set the depth on this thing. It'll put an edge or a groove, a stitching groove in the just parallel with the edge of the leather. It uses as a guide. Just go up so far. Sometimes I'll go twice and give it a nice deep deal so you don't have to feel the stitches. Clean that out a little bit. Then you run around the other edge too. But sometimes if you're not real straight with your drill, I use a drill a lot of the times on the holes. What'll happen is you'll go ahead and make your groove over here. Sometimes your hole won't line up, so I try to use a drill press to make sure everything's consistent, so this line back here will be good. And if all else fails, I'll go ahead and drill the holes and just kind of connect the dots with the groove tool, and it usually ends up being pretty good straight there. So just a couple little tricks. Well, I've misplaced my fork. Hang on a second. First couple sheaths I did a while back, I used to use this is just an example as a fork for my spacing on the holes. I would just make a impression down there in the groove and then follow up with going from one side to the other, and then go ahead and drill holes accordingly so they're nice and evenly spaced. But anyway, just kind of the beginning stages of a sheath for me. Got it all squared up and fine-tuned. The edges. Gonna end up being a good one here. There's a little sneak peek at the sheath here for the eyewitness. Got this little snap for the to hold the blade in around the guard. So it's not a line 24, it's the next step down. These are pretty good as well. You need a special tool to set those. You got your backer, and that guy goes in there, and then you end up tapping it down with that, and it just flares out the pin. Same with this, you just put it on a flat surface and it flares out the pin, and then you got your snap. So video's kind of long, sorry about that. Just wanted to share a few tips. Thanks. Well, so far it's working out pretty good. I went ahead and inserted the white thread instead of the black, and that was a pretty good trick, getting it through the needle, of course. I didn't have a needle threader but I took a piece of it's actually unraveled off a guitar string. So I made a loop and put it through and then pulled it through the eye of the needle there. So that worked out. And basically you just go to your next hole. Pull it back a little bit and make a loop. Get your excess. Pull it tight. Back through and give it a little pull and repeat. I'm gonna have to rig up some kind of holder. This is not real steady and it'll do the trick, but you might want to get a vise or something and put some soft pads around the clamps and do something a little different than this, but it's working out. So just touching base on the stitch. Yeah, got her stitched up. Stitching all worked pretty good, I'll be honest. It's probably me. I like doing a hand saddle stitch better. I don't know, this seemed to be pretty good though. I'm just going to get used to it and have a better clamp to hold everything while I do it. But I use a saddle stitch on everything else, you know. But going to go ahead and put some mink oil on it, and well, I guess I'll show you the test fit. I generally put that rivet kind of close because it gives a little friction and holds, and yes, it will wear out over time, but for a while it'll hold. And if this strap ever wears out, and I'm sure it will, I've replaced a few on some other sheaths, I can always come back into here somewhere and rivet or sew in a new stitch, a new strap I should say, and replace the strap. But there she is, guys. Thanks for watching. Well guys, put the finishing touches on it here. Turned out pretty nice.